Hello, listeners. Welcome to Mindful MS. So I've been giving little drops of what this illness has meant for me in my life, and in recognition that it's different for everyone. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the progression. I used to have a feeling when I lost my hands, ability, dexterity, I thought, oh, it's a good thing I'm not a pianist. That would be so hard if I was, or, many things. I constantly was feeling like it would be worser for somebody else. And not to have a pity party, but just to acknowledge it's been pretty tough on me as well. I'm a writer. I used to be a writer, hiker. I've given up a lot. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the progression because I used to be a deadhead, or maybe I still am. But and I used to dance. I used to dance. Dancing was huge in my life. And I used to be a hiker, and I used to hike. And I found that hiking in the woods, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who is the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, who is the founder of the Hasidic movement, he used to say, he had a phrase, or he coined an activity, hitbodetut. And that's when you pray out in nature, and all the forces in nature and the grasses and the trees join together with your prayer to ascend on high. So hiking for me was God time. It was really, it was my therapy, talking about whatever to, my higher spirit. And it was also a time that I would write poetry. And because this was before the time of cell phones, I didn't often have paper and a pen with me. I would have to, keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. And that actually was wonderful. Because of that, I have written much poetry that I remember because it's in the rhythm of walking. So, and just being out in nature, all of that. So, I still can sit outside on my porch, but I haven't been able to hike in quite a while, which is unfortunate. Um, so I used to be very balanced, and I was never an athlete at school or anything, but I used to be able, I prided myself on this. Maybe that was my problem. I used to be able to walk up a set of bleachers without holding anybody's shoulders on either side of me. And I could walk back down, and I just felt so balanced. And now that would not really be a safe thing for me to even attempt, although maybe at some point I will want to attempt that. And I guess I had, well, I don't want to label myself as having anything, but then there was a time I used to study at Elat Chaim, which is a Jewish renewal retreat center in Accord, New York, and now it's a part of Isabella Friedman in the Berkshires. Oh no, another wasp got into my house. Oh no, he's outside. Okay. So so I used to go there and study there and do work study there. I lived 4 miles away. And one time when I was there, and I think I was studying with Shefa Gold, she was doing some chanting workshop, and there was a man there named Peter Pitzley, and he was teaching bibliodrama, which is similar to psychodrama, but stories from the Bible, and really bringing to a deeper understanding of the scripture. So one day I was walking across the grounds, and he was walking towards me, and he looked at me, and he just said, "Oh, pride walker." So, and I'm seeing now why that's maybe not such a good thing. At the time, I thought, wow, this guy does movement. He does theater, and I don't know if pride is the right word. I mean, it was, maybe it was was more able in my body. So now that I am not balanced, and now that I, you know, walk, uh, and so I'll go in order. I went from walking up bleachers and walking and dancing and being very balanced to then needing a cane, and I could still make it work with my cane. It was cool. It is cool. I love my wooden cane. A friend of mine had found a cane like looking piece of wood floating in a river when he had gone to Greece with his family, and he brought it back for me. And I always make the point, oh, but I don't think that's even true. I think it was before 9/11 because he traveled with a big stick. But then that was the next thing. But now, and against my neurologist's wishes, I really use my rollator walker in the house. And I think the reason I like to do that is because it has a little shelf, and I can put things on it and carry things back and forth to the kitchen, or um and I mean, I know Dr. Stark, my neurologist, would like me not to do that, but he also would like me not to wall walk, where you're leaning on the wall as you go. And it's almost like coasting, right? Is that what we called it with our kids, when they coast from one thing to another? So that's frowned upon as well. Um, and I do have a scooter, which I have had to use for my son's sporting events. And even though they say road use only, I live in New Paltz, and it's country, some aspects of it, the best aspects of it. So, or at least a village, and the soccer fields are out on the grass, and the scooter's been fine. It's called a Smart Scoot. If any of you out there need a scooter, tell them Yiskah Koock recommended to them, and then they'll give me $50. Right? Or at least they did once before. So and that's great to have, because then I feel like, I think I have mentioned this in a previous podcast, that then I don't feel like I have to slow people down, you know, and and also you can fly with it because it folds up really small, and it only weighs 38 pounds. So there's my plug for the Smart Scoot. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge that one doesn't have to be a pianist or an athlete to lose a lot when one loses dexterity or balance or ability. Just acknowledging that. But again, my strong faith, I believe I can get it back. I did my physical therapy exercises today. I didn't do them yesterday, but the previous 3 days to that, I did do them. My friend is keeping me accountable. So I have to send her, actually, I'll do that right when I finish recording this, to tell her I did my exercises today. I'm hopeful. I think a positive attitude and willing to do the work, goes a long way. So thank you for listening, and remember, emes means truth.